What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you a new deck profile for Tellarknight. The Tellarknight's got a new set of support in the latest Battles of Legends set, which brought it to a whole new level, being able to bring it to more of a roguelike, if not regional topping deck. This deck has a lot of good things for it, being able between level modulation, additional summoning, popping, bouncing, further interactions, locking out monster effects, interacting with your opponent's graveyard. There is so much with this deck that offers so much. It changes the old play style from being more of a control variant into more of a combo control, where you can go for an OTK while also breaking boards pretty easily with this deck. Being able to incorporate cards like Dominus Purge, and being able to incorporate other cards such as the Dododo Warrior Engine from the Automatopoeia archetype can further help your playstyle and further help you get those rank 4s out on the board as soon as possible so you can start your combo. While this deck has a lot to go through, let's go ahead and hop right into the main deck where I can show you what we're working with. All right, starting off with the monsters, we're going to start off with 3 Tellarknight Stygian. This card is always treated as a Constellar card. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your deck to your hand. You can target one other light monster you control, increase both its level and this card's by 1. This card can be treated as 2 materials for the Xyz summon of a Tellarknight Xyz monster that requires 3 or more materials. You can only use each effect of Tellarknight Stygian once per turn. So being able to do level modulation, but also have it count as multiple materials can really help, especially since a lot of the old school Tellarknights require 3 or more materials. On top of that, we're playing 3 of the new Constellar Caster. If this card is summoned, you can special summon 1 Constellar monster from your deck, except Constellar Caster. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except light or dark monsters. You can only use this effect of Constellar Caster once per turn. A Constellar Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell, card, or effect, quick effect, you can attach 2 materials from a monster you control, and if you do, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. So being able to get a spell negation on board as well, but also being able to tutor out a monster can further help your plays nonetheless, but also makes it very interesting and fun to work with. Now onto the only 2 for the Constellar cards that I'm playing. I'm playing 2 Constellar Caudacious because I don't have the money for Constellar Sombre, because Constellar Sombre right now is setting at about $13 to $20. Now, do note that if you were playing Constellar Sombre, you would just cut this down to 1, but I like this card at 2 because if you control a Constellar monster except Constellar Caudacious, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can add 1 Constellar spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each of the previous effects Constellar Caudacious once per turn. A Constellar Xyz monster that has this card gains this effect. If this card battles a light or dark monster before damage calculation, you can banish that monster. So that can further help with the battle breaking of boards, being able to get additional banish, but also the free special summon and being able to get a spell or trap can help your combos a little bit further. Up next for the 1-ofs, we're playing 1 Tellarknight Deneb. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Tellarknight monster from your deck to your hand except Tellarknight Deneb. You can only use this effect of Tellarknight Deneb once per turn. So being able to get an additional add can further help your extension. Up next, we're playing the 1 Tellarknight Altair. If this card is summoned, you can target 1 Tellarknight monster in your graveyard except Tellarknight Altair. Special summon that monster in defense position. Also, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn except Tellarknight monsters. You can only use this effect of Tellarknight Altair once per turn. So basically being able to revive back from the graveyard for further extension. The 1 card to put the actual Tellarknights in the graveyard, which is the Tellarknight Unikali. This card is summoned, you can send 1 Tellarknight card from your deck to the graveyard, except Tellarknight Unikali. You can only use this effect as the Tellarknight Unikali once per turn. So basically the Foolish Burial of the deck. Then for the further extenders, we're playing 1 Tellarknight Lyran. This card is always treated as a Constellar card. If a Tellarknight or Constellar monster is normal summoned to your field, except Tellarknight Lyran, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is summoned, you can add 1 Tellarknight spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Tellarknight Lyran once per turn. Then finally, for the last Tellarknight of the deck, we're playing 1 Tellarknight Altair. If this card is summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of light and dark Xyz monsters you control, destroy them. If a Tellarknight or Constellar monsters is special summoned to your field, except Tellarknight Altarian, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn except with Xyz monsters. You can only use each effect of Tellarknight Altarian once per turn. So basically, graveyard extension. Also, with Lyrian being the hand extension for any normal summon, can really help get your combo started as you're looking to make a lot of rank 4s. Now, for the additional bodies that we're running, we're playing 3 Dododo Warrior. You can send 1 Dododo monster from your deck to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. Its level becomes 4, also its attack becomes 1800. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Xyz monsters. If this card is detached from an Xyz monster to activate that monster's effect, add 1 Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Dododo Warrior once per turn. It's just a really good extender, especially when playing it with Onomato Kage, because this card is always treated as a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo card. If you control a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo monster, and this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, return up to 2 Xyz monsters from your graveyard to the extra deck. You can only use each effect of Onomato Kage once per turn. So basically getting you that further extension, but also being able to give you the capabilities of special summoning out Dododo Warrior once per turn can really further help your board, especially when building up to those rank 4s that are very necessary for your combos to start, such as there's one in here that I can't remember his name. I think it's Constellar Caduceus. Or not Constellar Caduceus. What is it? It is Tellarknight Constellar Caduceus. Yeah. So I wasn't wrong, but technically at the same time, yes. Basically, it's the Xyz version of Caduceus that lets you get some further extension. Anyways, on from that, for the rest of the monsters that we're playing 3 Ash Blossom and 2 Androllan Lockbird. You can fit in the Mulcharmies since they are level 4s. They can function as a body if you needed them to. So they're technically not dead, but I do like running just the Ash and Droll here right now. The other cards I would potentially put in are some board breakers, such as Dark Ruler No More, Spellbound, anything along those lines to further help break boards if I'm looking to go about that route, because this deck can flip pretty well between a going first and going second deck to further your plays. Anyways, that's all I got for the monsters. Let's go ahead and hop right into our spells and traps. All right, for the spells, of course, we're going to start off with 3 Satellar Nova Binding. Activate one of these effects, but you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Xyz monsters. Discard 1 card, and if you do, special summon 1 Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your deck with a different type from the monsters you control. Target face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of Tellarknight and Constellar monsters you control, negate the effects until the end of this turn. You can only activate 1 Satellar Nova Binding once per turn. So basically giving you that capability to get a free special summon from the deck, or being able to get negation on the board can further help break boards, but also further set up your plays. Followed up by 3 Constellar Tellarknights. When this card is activated, you can special summon 1 Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your hand or graveyard. You can target 1 Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monster with a different rank by using that Xyz monster you control as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon, transfer its materials as well. You can only use this effect to Constellar Tellarknights once per turn. You can only activate 1 Constellar Tellarknights per turn. So basically being able to get you that further extension, but also being able to go into a higher rank without really devoting to a rank up magic spell can further help your plays. As for the one-ofs of the spells, we're playing 1 Tellarknight Skybridge. Target 1 Tellarknight monster you control, special summon 1 Tellarknight monster with a different name from your deck, and if you do, shuffle that target into the deck. While the monster special summoned by this effect is face up on the field, you cannot special summon except Tellarknight monsters. You can only activate 1 Tellarknight Skybridge per turn. So basically being able to just quick effect check out or swap out for another Tellarknight can really help in a pinch. For example, if they try to imperm something and then you just use Tellarknight, so Tellarknight Skybridge to chain and then basically bounce your summon out that they're trying to negate, it can really help in getting additional effects. Up next, we're playing the 1 Reinforcement of the Army. Add 1 level 4 lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand. 1 Called by the Grave. Target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish it. If you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated. as well as the activate effects and effects of on the field of monsters with the same original name. Then, of course, we're playing the one Triple Tactics talent. If your opponent has activated monster effect during your main phase this turn, activate one of these effects. Draw 2 cards, take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Look at your opponent's hand, choose one card from it, and shuffle into the deck. You can only activate one Triple Tactics talent per turn. So basically, resolving those two really can help solidify the game state and keep you into plays, but they can also help with dealing with interactions that you don't like dealing with, such as Ash Blossom. Now, as for the others, we're playing some traps. Of course, I'm playing the 3 Dominus Purge. If your opponent controls a card, you can activate this card from your hand. When a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that adds a card or cards from the deck to the hand, negate that effect, and if you have a trap in your graveyard, destroy that card. If you activate this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of dark, water, and fire monsters for the rest of this duel. You can only activate 1 Dominus Purge per turn. So basically being able to get another Ash Blossom, but have it set as well, can further help. So, following that up with 3 Infinite Impermanents, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, negates effects until the end of this turn. Then if this card was set before activation and is on the field at resolution, for the rest of this turn, all other spell and trap card effects in the column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. So basically further board negation. Then of course we're playing the 1 Dominus Spark because I just had the body or the space for it. During the turn in which your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can activate this card from your hand. Target one monster your opponent controls, banish it, then if you have no traps in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one monster from their hand. If you activate this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind monsters for the rest of the duel. You can only activate 1 Dominus Spark per turn. And then, of course, following it up with 1 Satellar Nova Alpha. When a spell, trap, card, or monster effect is activated, send 1 face-up Tellarknight monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card and draw 1. So, if I were to really edit this deck a little bit more, for those people that are looking for more of a budget, I know the Mulch Armies are a little bit pricier right now, but you can also sub in 3 Effect Veiler or further board breakers such as Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, whatever you really feel like fits your locals to better supplement for the Dominus Spark and Dominus Purge, as they can get a bit pricey. I think Dominus Spark right now is setting at about $80, which is extremely overly expensive for the card. But it's still there nonetheless, and as a way for you to further play, it just fits very well in the Tellarknight deck as you're using light and dark attributes, which really doesn't get really affected at all by Dominus Spark. But that's all that I really have for the main deck. Let's hop into our extra deck, and I can go over a little bit more what we're playing there. All right, on to the actual extra deck. I'm going to start off with 1 Tellarknight Deltaros, 3 level 4 monsters. While this card has material, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special summon a monster. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 card in the field, destroy it. This card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Tellarknight monster from your hand or deck. So being able to actually help get some protection on board to solidify your monster effects, but also get a free summon of a Tellarknight monster from your hand or deck when it leaves the field can really help. Then, of course, we're playing the 1 Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. 2 or more level 4 monsters. Once per chain, quick effect, you can attach 3 materials from this card. Special summon from your extra deck one Exceeds monster that is 1 rank higher than this card. Accept the number monster by using this face-up card you control as material. This is treated as an Exceed summon. Transfer its materials to the summon monster. You can attach 7 materials from this card. Skip your opponent's next turn. Once per turn during the end phase, you can attach one Tellarknight card from your extra deck to this card as material. So basically being able to quick effect rank up can really help you out a lot. Up next, the board bounce. Tellarknight Trevor, 3 level 4 Tellarknight monsters. During the turn you Exceed summon this card, you cannot special summon except Tellarknight monsters. If this card is Exceed summon, return all other cards on the field to the hand. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. If this card with material is sent to the graveyard, target 1 Tellarknight monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So basically getting a good board bounce, but a hand rip also functions very well. Now, as for the non-Tellarknight rank 4 that we're playing here, we're playing 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, 2 level 4 monsters, once per chain. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has more total cards in their hand and field than you do, Quick effect, detach one material from this card, destroy all other cards on the field. Also, for the rest of his turn, your opponent takes no damage. It's just a good way to board break if you need it. Then we got one Tellarknight Constellar Deltaros. This is a new card from Bow's Legend. 3 or more level 4s. Monsters. Your opponent cannot target rank 5 or higher Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monsters you control with card effects. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, add one Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one light monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard except from the field, you can special summon one Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your hand or banishment. So further helping you get another extension right there as well, but also giving you some further protection for your higher ranked monsters. Up next, we're playing 2 Tellarknight Constellar Caduceus. 2 or more level 4 monsters. If this card is Xyz summon, you can target one Tellarknight and or Constellar card in your graveyard, add them to the hand. You can banish one Tellarknight or Constellar monster from your hand or deck, and attach one material from this card. The effect becomes that banish monster's effect that activates when it is normal summoned. You can only use each effect of Tellarknight Constellar Caduceus once per turn. So that further helps with getting additional effects, but also helps you get your spells up and rolling as you need it. All right. The next rank 4 we're playing is one Eclipse Twins. If this for this card succeeds summon, you can treat rank 4 monsters you control as level 4 monsters. For material, you can detach one material from this card. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 2 other rank 4 or lower Xyz monsters in your graveyard, special summon one of them, attach the other to it. You can only use this effect of Eclipse Twins once per turn, basically giving you the capability of reviving one of the Tellarknights that you really need onto the board and attach a material to it. Now, going into the rank 5s, we're playing 1 Constellar Pleiades, 2 level 5 light monsters. Once per turn, quick effect, you can attach one material from this card, then target one card on the field, return that target to the hand. So basically just a targeted bounce. Then we got 1 Tellarknight Constellar Diamond, 3 or more level 5 light monsters. During your main phase 2, you can also Xyz summon this card by using a Tellarknight Xyz monster you control as Xyz material, except Tellarknight Constellar Diamond. Xyz materials attached to that monster also becomes Xyz materials on this card. While this card has Xyz material, neither player can send cards from the deck to the graveyard, and any card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished instead. During either player's turn, when an opponent's dark monster activates its effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So further helping solidify the board, but also getting some negation in there as well for dark monsters. Then we got 1 Chronomaly Vimana, 2 level 5 monsters. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field, and one Xyz monster or Chronomaly monster in the graveyard. That monster on the field gains half the attack of the monster in the graveyard till the end of this turn. Then attach that monster from the graveyard to this card as material. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card and negate the activation. It's just a good way to get a monster negate on board. Then, of course, we're playing the 1 Constellar Ptolemy M7. 2 level 6 monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a Constellar Xyz monster you control other than Constellar Ptolemy M7. Transfer its materials if summoned this way. The following effects cannot be activated this turn. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one monster on the field or in either graveyard, return that target to the hand. So it's a good way to get just graveyard hate onto the board. Now, as for the new Constellar Ptolemy, we have Tellarknight Constellar Ptolemy Q7 or Omega 7. 3 level 7 monsters. Once per turn during your main phase 2, you can also Xyz summon Tellarknight Constellar Ptolemy Omega 7 by using one Tellarknight or Constellar Xyz monster you control, transfer its materials. While you have 7 or more Tellarknight monsters with different names in your graveyard and or banishment, this card gains 2700 attack and defense, also is unaffected by your opponent's activate effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can attach a number of materials from this card, target that many monsters your opponent controls, and shuffle them into the deck. So basically being able to shuffle your opponent's cards on board into the deck can really hurt them a lot, especially with combos later on. Now for the last 2, we're playing the Utopic package, which is Utopic F0, Utopic Zero Future, number F0 Utopic Future, and number F0 Utopic Draco Future. Utopic Future is a fun one that you can use 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank except number monsters. This card's original rank is treated as 1, cannot be destroyed by battle, neither player takes battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step, this card bound an opponent's monster. You can take control of that opponent's monster until the end of the battle phase. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed by a card effect, you can attach one material from this card instead. And then, of course, we have the 1 Utopic Draco Future, which is 3 Xyz monsters with the same rank except number monsters. This card's original rank is always treated as 1. This card is always treated as a Utopic Future card. You can also Xyz summon this card by using number F0 Utopic Future you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can attach one material from this card and negate the activation. Then, if that monster is on the field, gain control of it. So basically a good monster steal, but also it's a really good towers, nonetheless, for the deck. For this deck, it is still a lot of fun because you do have a lot of interactions and a lot of routes to really build your board. This is one of those decks that I would greatly recommend players in picking up. Anyways, let's hop right into the deck review and I'll go over a little bit more about this deck. Alright, so for this deck in review, what's a good thing about it? Well, it's very simple for new players to pick up. It's a rank 4 deck, has a lot of good attributes, especially with light and dark, works very well with chaos, works very well with Fiendsmith, given the Exciton stuff. Do note that you have a lot of good capability within this deck as a whole to really just further interact with your opponent's board in more ways than you would expect. The new Tellarknight cards from the Constellar stuff can really help with the level 3 or the 3 level 4 requirement for a lot of the old Constellar cards, but also offers up a whole new way to really further interact with your opponent. Being able to shuffle cards back into the deck, being able to further break your opponent's board, and further incorporate other hand traps such as either the Dominus cards or regular standard hand traps. You can also go about a route of going second and incorporating in board breakers. This deck has so much good capability that you have a lot of options to really heavily modify it to where you can do a Mitsurugi package, another rank 4 package through the Onomatopoeia or Heraldic. There's a lot of good capabilities nonetheless, as long as you stick with the light and dark aspect of the deck. Now, the one downside I will say about this deck is that you are stuck with rank 4s. So, if you go against a card that prevents you from Xyz summoning, or if your opponent has ways to really hurt you by ripping out specific extra deck cards, that can really kill your build real quick. If they hit key combo cards or are able to break your board, you don't really have much of a crackback to it. You're really going for a lot of extension here and a lot of good capability in which you can further play. Now, I will state that it takes a very good pilot for this to make it to the YCS and regional level, but it's still a really good deck nonetheless. I enjoy it as much as anyone else, but in all honesty, this is probably one of my favorite dual terminal decks, as the Constellars, Satellars, and Tellarknights have always been so cool to me. I've loved the whole aspect of them, from the whole constellation side to the protectors. It's just amazing nonetheless. This deck has an amazing aesthetic, and I really do love it, and I hope you guys did enjoy today's deck profile. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.